Welcome to Two Guys, Three Crowns, the podcast that talks about what it's really like to live in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm Sean, and with my fellow American Rodney, we break down the good, the bad, and the just plain weird. It's quite the journey, so join us for the ride. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Smoke on the water, fire in the sky, or something else going on, because was it just me, or did it look smoky yesterday?
No, it was definitely not just you. I had kind of started, I'd kind of picked up on it a little bit, not paid too close attention to it. I just thought it was, some kind of foggy something going on. But, and then when you wrote to me and I actually went out, because I was up visiting Adrian yesterday. So I went out and stood on his balcony and I was like, yeah, this is weird. Yeah. Because it was like an even... it wasn't like a high mist or a low fog.
It definitely looked like forest fire, like massive forest fire smoke.
Without the smoke.
There's only two places I've seen anything like that. One was in Vietnam, where everyone's burning their trash on the street.
Okay, right.
And it smells awful. And the other time is when like lightning strikes in the Everglades and the wind blows all that smoke over top of Miami. And it gets that weird, hazy, like it's a very distinct, like yellowy gray.
Yeah.
That coats everything, but then it smells like campfire everywhere.
Right.
So it smells like fire, but it didn't smell like anything. And I'm walking around, and everyone's, of course, Swedish, minding their own business. Like, oh yeah, this is Saturday. I'm like, am I an invasion of the body snatchers here? What is going on?
Yeah, it was really freaky though. I mean, until you said it, Adrian was like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "I got to go out and check the sky again." And I went out and I looked, and it was kind of a weird, hazy, but it was even. Yes. It was just like an even haze. It wasn't like something low-lying or creeping or...
Yeah, it wasn't high in the sky. It wasn't low in the sky. It was just everywhere, blocking out the sun.
Yeah.
And it was like up until that point, yesterday was gorgeous too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I brought the cushions out from the basement, the storage unit that we all get here that's oh so lovely in the apartments. And then, I'm like cleaning the grill, like scrubbing off like all excess, crap from last year that I didn't clean properly. And then I'll just spray bleach on that mold there and no one will know. Then I'm like ready to crank the gas and like put it on high for like 20 minutes and burn out anything that's left. And then, of course...
Right.
The little clicker thing that starts the fire, it doesn't work anymore.
Oh, no.
Well, yeah, it was 2 years old, so that's about time for the igniter to go.
Wow, okay. Man, you must have been grilling for that thing to go out.
Well, I mean, it was a cheap grill to begin with.
Yeah.
So it's one of these that's gas, but it looks like a Weber.
Oh,
like a little round thing. So it's not like the official like gringo like stainless steel multi unit thing. So that was then I had to go on a trek finding a stick lighter, which apparently here they're called candle lighters instead of just like a cigarette Bic lighter, because I tried that and it wouldn't I tried grilling last night and it was too windy by that point to get anything done, and then no one had any more stick lighters anymore. I'm like, okay, thanks people.
Yeah, you just didn't have the barbecue gods on your side yesterday.
No, I did not.
No.
And then next weekend, we got Easter, but it's chances of snow.
Yeah. I don't even know.
You can't even get outraged anymore.
What am I supposed to say?
Tried the snow on Cinco de Mayo last year. What can you do?
Yeah. But I only took out one piece of lawn furniture. So I took out one chair the other day so I could sit out. And what I figure is, what I think, I'm tempting the weather thing, because it always starts snowing whenever I put my furniture out. So I was like, I'll put out one chair and see if I can sneak into, get the last bit of chill out. So I'm sorry, everybody, it was me. It was my one lawn chair that I put out that's bringing the snow back.
Yeah, and then today it's like all cold and damp and wet and like not even raining. It's just like a misty drizzle. Yeah. I'm like, now this is some March weather for me.
Right.
This is real March weather.
Yeah, I took a afternoon shower. I got back from Adrian's, and it was that I had like that chill that's like internal, like bone marrow kind of chill.
Yes.
So I had to go in and try and soak that out. And then I, ran a couple laps around the bathroom, and so I, got the circulation back to my feet.
A couple laps around the bathroom, so that's about 10 seconds or less.
Yeah, doing those suicide runs.
Yeah, huh? That's when you're like, okay, tonight we're gonna splurge. We're gonna touch this control panel on the wall that doesn't really work completely, but it makes the floor hot.
Well, yes, the floor warmers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
We saw that we've been in our apartment rental for, it's 15 years now. About 15 years. And that was one of the things when we moved in. I was like, oh, cool, look, they got something on the wall. And that's what I'm sitting there twisting it and turning it and twisting it and turning it. And Lena was like, okay, that's the floor warmer. I mean, they're typically in the bathroom areas. And I was like, oh, how cool is that?
Yeah.
I mean, put that on.
So luxurious, right?
In the morning, right. And then somebody, I don't know if it was a neighbor or whoever told us, but they said, you got to watch out for that because that can send your electrical bill. Like, it can definitely add some kroner onto your bill.
Yeah,
so,
for real. And it makes the bathroom so hot by the end.
Yeah.
Like if you keep that, even if it's cracked a little bit, the door.
Yeah.
It makes it a sauna practically in there.
Yeah. It's the dual purpose.
Yeah.
But so we haven't used it.
Yeah.
I almost did a couple of years ago just to.
Yeah. Sometimes the place we were renting at first, we would use it a little bit because it was like, ooh, we can make the floor hot. So when we get out of the shower, it's hot on the floor.
Yeah.
And the novelty and all that. But then when we moved here, the display is kind of a little wonky. Like it displays half of it's like an LED control.
Okay.
So like an old school, like digital, like the little numbers look like pieces of rice. Right.
Yeah.
So half of them work, half of them don't. And then it's like, it's electricity. So like, first of all, I don't want to work on electricity, especially 220 volt. And then it's just like, we don't really need it anyway. And just live, let it alone. And I heard, maybe you can clear this up for me. I heard that, I don't know how true this is. I'm pretty sure there's no way this can possibly be true, but in Sweden, you're supposedly not allowed to work on electricity in your home unless you have a license, like as an electrician. That doesn't sound right, though.
Well, now I'm gonna have to like plead the fifth on that because I don't really know, but I do know that when electricity goes from like stateside, where it's like damn, to just dead. I mean the voltage, the voltage over here. Now, if you're allowed to work on your own electrical stuff in your own house on your own property, I don't know, but electricity is not one of those things that I'm really super comfortable with.
I don't like to mess with it. If it's cables and audio and stuff like that, I have no problem. But once it's connected to mains and it's actual wires, first putting a lamp in this country is already a problem for me because I have to like be splitting wires and putting them together before it plugs in. I'm like, okay, if I catch on fire when we turn this light on,
right?
I tried to warn you.
Oh man, yeah. No, I mean, hey, I'm okay with plumbing. Plumbing stuff,
plumbing,
and I can go in there. I mean,
walls,
you're gonna get a little wet, depending upon what kind of nastiness you're in there trying to fix. If it's a sink, it's a little leaky, something's off or something. Fine, dry off and go back in.
If there's a clog somewhere, like I'll get the whole, half the arm in there in the gunk, no problem.
Well, that's where I'm gonna have to draw the.
Once you start talking about electricity, I'm like, no, can't help you there. Can't help you. Which reminds me, so we have the little munchkin is peaking right now, getting right smack into the middle of the terrible twos. Like he's not even 2 yet, but he's feeling it. He's like, oh, we're going to be early. We're going to be early with this.
Okay.
Yeah, he's refusing to go to sleep by himself all of a sudden for the past week. And anytime you tell him no, then it's like he has to completely melt onto the floor and then roll onto his stomach and put his hands out by his sides. Like he's doing a swan dive, but he's on the floor. And
Yeah.
But then he's somehow also at the same time become a kleptomaniac. Like he's stealing stuff and putting it in random places. So first was the TV remote.
Okay.
I was looking for that thing for 24 hours, finally found it underneath the sofa. And I found it underneath the sofa by picking up the sofa because I was taking apart the sofa because also my wallet disappeared.
Okay.
I finally found my wallet today, 48 hours later.
Right.
On like, it was, how do I describe this? You know, an office chair?
Yes.
Hanata has one here in the house because she borrowed it from work for working from home and all that. It's got this little, you know, the part that attaches the seat to the back support.
Yep.
Has this little like.
Oh, the little roundy bar.
Yeah, the little
thing.
kind of the metal
curvy
part, right? That actually does the bending and all that.
Yeah.
It was placed right there, standing up.
Oh, yeah, you're lucky you found
I
that.
was looking everywhere for that thing, and all of a sudden, today, I was like, wait a minute, what?
Wow.
Hey, you gremlin, get over here.
Holy smokes. Okay.
But we are still missing a light switch.
Wait.
That's what reminded me. The electricity. We have these in the bedroom. They're like our light switches. In Sweden, they're not like American style. Like the Americans got the just like the little pin sticking out that you flick it up and down.
Dook. Yeah.
Here, there's different types. We have like the squares that you like click
with the paddles.
Yeah, the paddles.
Yeah.
But the ones in the bedroom, for whatever reason, some little piece of plastic connecting them, like the little paddle itself to the actual switch part, cracked or something. I don't know. They're easy to take off by the end. Yeah. Especially with this one, he's just barely the height that he can start turning them on and off like at free will.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, so I'm sure he helped out along as well. Hanata's doing in the middle of doing laundry yesterday, and all of a sudden she goes, we have a problem. Oh. And I'm like, what now? She goes, he's hidden the light switch. He was just here in this one spot and it's gone. It's missing. So the switch that controls the lighting in the bedroom is missing. Yeah. So still haven't found that one yet. I think that's going to take 72 hours to find. Because we have 24, then 48. So yeah.
You know what?
But I was thinking, I'm like, this would be a perfect opportunity to just replace the light switch. Because it's half broken anyway. Like the switches, the paddles are falling off.
Right.
But then I'm like, I don't want to touch electricity.
Yeah. Now, you think that he's getting ready for, maybe he's like hinting at Easter egg hunt stuff? When you, he's like, you guys don't want to hide eggs? Okay, I'm going to show you how good I can hide stuff.
Yeah. Oh. Well, that's the thing. He's still too early for Easter eggs, especially like giving him chocolate and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, he's very much in that phase where I don't want to teach him all the good hiding spots in the house either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because then everything's going to disappear.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, he might be able to school you a little bit on some good hiding spots.
I know, right?
He's going to be like, hey, Dad, come here. This is where I put the electrical stuff. Right here behind the refrigerator.
Yeah, you know how you were looking for the lighter the other day?
There was something that it was my... what do you call them? My slippers, my Birkenstocks. I had Birkenstocks. Yeah, Birkenstocks that I actually bought Birkenstocks a couple months after we got here because my back started killing me and I couldn't figure out why. You know, it's just like random. My back started hurting. And what I realized, or what at least the way it affected me was, you know, everything back home was carpeted. There was carpets here, carpets there, carpets everywhere.
Yes.
So all of a sudden, walking on hardwood floors and, you know, everything, I just think that, you know, anyway, I started thinking, okay, there's got to be a better way. So I jammed out and got some Birkenstocks and I've had them ever since. I took them off the other day. Lena and Veronica were waiting at the dinner table. I'm like, look, I just need to find, my Birkenstocks. So I run upstairs. They're not there. I go downstairs. I go in the bathroom. I look all over the place. And then I go back upstairs again, and I look inside the closet again, and then I look under the bed again, and then I go inside the bathroom, and then I come back down again.
Because there's like 4 or 5 spaces where they could be. They can't be anywhere else in the house because there's only like certain places that you're going to leave them.
Yeah, well, I mean, and our place is little. It's tiny. I mean, we got a small little place, and you walk into a room and you can see everything, every basically nook and cranny, as you look around. Yes. So, so Lena and Veronica are sitting at the dinner table. They hear me like running up and down the stairs. And I was like, this is crazy. This is so idiotic. I was like, I've been in the bathroom. It's I've opened that door, open it, close it, open it. And I just
This is my life for the past 48 hours.
Yeah. And I could not find it. And I
just so cursing to yourself. You're like turning into a John McEnroe. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. But then I can see Lena and Veronica at the kitchen table out of the corner of my eye every time I dash by to go someplace else looking for it because they're sitting there waiting to eat dinner. Now I'm going to find these things. So finally there's like one little space by our couch that I rarely go by. And, it has like a little bit of an angle. And sure enough, I'm like, well, I mean, that's the only place,
right,
south of Stockholm that I haven't checked yet. So, I'm like, what do I got to lose? I've already been in the bathroom 4 times looking at the same floor. And I go over there and sure enough, they're on the other side of the couch. And I'm sitting there going, how?
Who put
Why?
These over here? This isn't where they go.
Hey, I had gotten a phone call and I think that I sat down on the couch when I had this phone call. So it's always one of those things that it just caught me off rhythm. Hey, but it was a nice cold dinner. My feet were comfy. But it's just amazing how little things like that and or checking through jackets. Checking through jackets back home in the States was one thing because you had like 2 or 3 jackets.
Oh man.
But if you lose something,
all it takes is 2 ski jackets over here because they have pockets everywhere.
You're right. So and if you don't like get all of the jackets out of your closet, I mean, you could be hunting through like 7, 8 jackets, windbreakers. You start throwing in hoodies and stuff. Forget.
Oh yeah,
it's
and
like,
the ones that are
take
like
a day off.
The ones that are in the vacuum sealed bag, you gotta bust them out because what happens if it something got in those pockets 3 years ago?
Right. Yeah, or I mean, it could be that it would be like, I know I haven't been in there in 3 years, but I've checked
everywhere else.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but we are nearing that that time of year where it's time to start going through and packing stuff away and bringing stuff out. But now I think I'm going to put that on chill mode for a little bit since you said it might snow this weekend. Or next weekend.
A friend of mine was texting me the other day. He goes, "Hey man, I see they're clearing off all the stones on the sidewalk. For me, that means it's spring." I'm like, "No, man. No. Get me past Valborg, and then I'm still skeptical."
Yeah. Well, and I can't remember. Lynn used to say like it's because I know it snowed like in March, April, like May.
It tried to snow in May of last year, but we missed it in Stockholm. But it did in other parts of Sweden.
Yeah.
No,
but we'll see.
You.
But things are starting to bloom all over the place now.
Yes. We have our little crocuses coming up in the courtyard. It's looking lovely.
Yeah. Allergy stuff, too. I told you that. I logged into my app the other day. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go into Pollenkollen, this little app that they have to check the pollen counts. Forget it. It was just like everything was like maxed out red.
All it says is like could be COVID.
You could just like stay home. Just stay home. But there was an article that came out. Lena forwarded to me, and it said that if you suffer from allergies, that you're more susceptible to get COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't know if it had. Well, I read the article. It's just my memory sucks. But
so all the listeners have come here for the definitive source of this information.
Yes. Now, if I only remember portions of the information, But
just in from our lawyer, 2 Guys, 3 Crowns is not responsible for the content of this message.
But I know that it's because the immune system already,
right?
It's like fighting pollen, and then all of a sudden it's like,
yeah, may as well come on in, join the party. Add one more.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
you received a very special delivery this week.
Yes, I did. I received
part packaged exceptionally well, and part packaged like the person just couldn't be bothered.
No. Hey, well, let me start by saying the first thing when I get the package and I come out, from Lena drove me over so I could pick up the package. I run in, I come out, and the first thing that hits me when I look at it is, I'm like, it's a Swedish package. Because that's the way that like my grandmother and everybody used to send me packages was, in a brown paper, and it had the stamps and it was hand addressed. And I'm like, okay, this has got to be, somebody in Sweden. But lo and behold, it was Sean forwarding a package to me.
Yes.
That he brought back from the States.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Christmas present.
From my mom.
From Sean's mom. Yes.
Not only that, she had wrapped this thing. It was like a professional wrapping job. She's always been good at wrapping Christmas presents. Right. But this one was like on point, I must say.
Yeah. No, it was definitely, it was one of the best Christmas presents that I've gotten.
Tell the people what it was.
Well, wrapped like that. Well, let me start by day. Okay, I take off the ribbon. And it's addressed to Rodney. Unboxing. Yeah, to Rodney from Sean's mom. And I'm like, oh, this is great. So I take the ribbon off. I open up the paper, and I'm looking at a square box, and I'm sitting there going, wow. And I'm feeling the weight a little bit, and I'm like, I wonder if she sent me a coffee mug. Because it was that kind of almost like a coffee mug feel to it. And I'm like, I love coffee mugs. So I open it up, and there's tissue in there. So I start pulling out the tissue paper, and, the suspense is killing me. And as I'm digging down, reaching for a handle, I'm thinking, okay, where's the mug handle?
Right.
All of a sudden, I'm like, dick, and I'm like, oh, there's something solid in here. So I pull out the tissue paper, and I unravel it, and it was a can of Spam.
A can of Spam.
Oh, perfect. It was.
And you texted me. You had just run out of your Spam.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, I just did, like the day before. And, but
it's a Christmas miracle.
Well, what a fantastic gift. So thank you very, very much. It was appreciated. And I have it, I kind of have it on like standby now. I'm
that has become the new emergency supply.
That's it. That's the break glass in case of, it was fantastic. It was right on point too. Cause it was kind of laughing and giggling, and Lena was like, oh, that's perfect.
Well, it was so funny because it was like a perfectly or almost perfectly cubic box.
Yeah.
That's probably
about a Rubik's Cube-ish.
Yeah.
A little bit
slightly larger than a Rubik's Cube, but about that size. Yeah. And I'm like, I keep going around to like Coop.
Right.
And Ika's that have like the Postnord boxes. And all of these things are like to mail like stuff that's like long and thin.
Right.
Like standard FedEx boxes. And I'm like,
yeah.
Where, like, I don't want to have to buy 3 boxes and cut them apart and reassemble them in this weird, like, it looks like a bomb that I'm sending to Rodney through Postnord. Right. It'll never get there. Yeah. And I'm like, where am I going to find this box to send this thing? But it was like, I'll find it eventually. It's Spam. This is like a Twinkie. It'll survive the nuclear holocaust.
Right, right. And then some.
Yeah. So then I remembered, we have this store in Sickla. It's called, as I butcher this pronunciation, Leveriet.
Okay. It's
like delivery place.
Right.
So it's one of these, like, when you can have your deliveries go to this store to be picked up. And it's this weird concept. Like, they have changing rooms there. So, like, when you order from Zalando, you can try them on there, and if it doesn't fit, you can send it back right away from the store.
Holy smokes!
Because you're there, and then they'll just do the shipping or repackage it or whatever. So it's like, okay, but like I've only picked up something there, and then I take it home. I'm like, I'm not going to go into a changing room or whatever, Get out of here! I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I knew it was like a quote unquote package store.
Yeah.
Kind of like a FedEx Express back in the States. You go in, there's boxes, they'll weigh the thing and do the postage
like
for you.
Mail boxes, etc. Yeah.
So I go in with my little Hawaiian Santa surfing on the wave Christmas present for Rodney in March. Like, I have to mail this Christmas present. And I'm like, I need a box to mail it. And it's going to Nina-san. And they're like, okay, well, we would recommend you just wrap it in the paper then. I'm like, okay, fine that it doesn't need a box, but you want me to wrap it? Like, what would you say you do here? To quote Office Space. I'm like, you're just sticking the stamps on and then ringing me up. And then, like, I have to cut the paper in and do the tape and all this stuff. By the end, of course, I thought I was being all slick. The paper didn't go all the way around. And I just had to cover a hole with tape. And it was like barely holding on. I'm like, screw it. I can't be bothered. But I'm like, why do you people exist? Why are you here?
Yes.
But it was such like a quintessential Swedish thing. Like, okay, so go package it yourself now. The scissors are over there. There's markers and pens to write on the paper with. Go do it yourself.
Yeah.
I'm like, my God.
Yeah.
But you're just like, okay, you put your tail between your legs and you walk over to the thing. And then you're just
what are you going to do? It's like,
and
I'll wait till next Christmas.
I'm like this typical dude, like trying to get this paper like wrapped around like 8,000 times and like cutting the paper when it's already rolled up. And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need more tape.
Yeah. No, I told you the first, when I went to Pressbyrån, when we got here, it was just a couple days after we had landed. I went to Pressbyrån and I was going to buy, I don't know what I bought, milk or something. And the person at the counter asked me, like, do you want a bag? And I'm like, sure. And they put a plastic bag in front of me next to the milk. And then they tell me how much it is. And both of us are staring at the milk and this bag. Seriously? And I was sitting there going, oh, okay. I'm sorry. My bad. I thought that you were going to put the milk in the bag.
I had the same thing in London. Imagine, let alone the Swedish packaging store. And this is happening at the same time that an old client of mine, back from the Miami days, she was traveling to Mexico City for some kind of conference.
Okay.
And she's posting updates on Facebook. And she gets to this hotel in Mexico City. And while she's checking in, a guy's coming around and wiping down her bags with alcohol wipes to make sure it's so sanitary.
Okay.
I'm like, that's the difference in customer service levels that I struggle with, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, we mentioned Easter a couple times, and I want to make sure that I go ahead and mention that we have two winners of the three possible right now. So I wanted to go ahead and give a quick shout out to Tiago, our friend in Portugal, who went ahead and sent us the first correct lineup, and then Andreas in Lund went ahead and also sent in the correct answers. Woo! And has actually sent some messages and put up a really nice review of the Two Guys, Three Crowns podcast on Podchaser. So I'm going to go ahead and put that up. He went all in for the podcast. He found us, and then I can't remember. It says in the review, but I don't know if he listened to like 50 or 80 episodes in a week.
I think it said 80, but I'm like, that can't be right. There's no way.
Yeah. Well, I was sitting there doing the math. So thank you, Tiago. Thank you, Andreas, for doing. And we have one left.
There's one more golden ticket.
As of this recording, at least, we have one cap left. So I got the box. I got the cap. It is ready to go. If there's anybody that can find those Easter eggs in our cover art and wants one of these hats, then
you gotta get to the gram. Get to the Instagram. All right, everyone, that'll do it. Very important, as we just mentioned, there is currently, at the time of this recording, one more chance for you to win an official 2 Guys, 3 Crowns cap. It's amazing, it's comfortable, it'll make you look like $1,000,000. All you have to do, get into our Instagram, check out the episode artwork that we've done over the years, see if you can find those Easter eggs, and then send us a message, drop us a DM, shoot us an email, carrier pigeon, whatever. Let us know all the episodes where those Easter eggs appear, and you could be the 3rd person to win that cap. So get in there and have a look. And then come back here next time for more 2 Guys, 3 Crowns.